Chance Rides is famous for their classic fairground attractions. Rides such as the Zipper are essentially a staple of the American fairground. But did you know there was another ride that became extremely popular almost overnight and operated at many fairgrounds in North America, and today is almost completely extinct? It started in the 1960s when Gerald Barber designed and constructed a new prototype for a fairground ride. Premiering under the name Caravel, this ride took a new spin on the traditional Ferris wheel. Later models would be called the Raven or the Radar, with the latter becoming the name it was most commonly referred to. The Radar was essentially two Ferris wheels that rotated on horizontal and vertical axes that spun in opposite directions. Each wheel featured 10 seats, and it was reportedly possible to seat 4 adult riders in one seat. 2 Ravens and 3 Radars were constructed, but none of them operate as of 2025. A few years after the debut of the Radar, Chance Rides collaborated with Barber to improve it and make it more thrilling. In 1970, the two debuted the Turbo, which became an instant hit for its time. The Turbo replaced the Ferris wheel-like seats of the Radar with circular cages that could hold 2 to 3 riders. Similar to the Radar, the vertical and horizontal rotations were in different directions, causing the circular cages to flip. In addition, the cages are mounted at a slight angle to amplify the flipping further, as they are off-axis. The random and spontaneous nature of the flipping created a unique ride experience, ensuring that no two rides were alike. The restraints were minimal, with only a cage and a grab bar to secure riders, somewhat similar to what can be found on Chance's modern Zipper. 23 turbos were manufactured between 1970 and 1976 before production ceased. Showman Rick Reithoffer, TPA Shows, and North American Midway Entertainment all owned and operated a turbo at one point. The turbos had a heavy presence at North American fairgrounds, but slowly disappeared by the 1990s. Despite the turbo's popularity, it was reportedly a maintenance headache. Issues arose with the ride's braking system, as the master cylinder for the brakes was the same as one from a 1950s Ford pickup truck. The cylinder saw extensive wear and had to be replaced often, as it was never designed for this use. In addition, the brakes were manually controlled by releasing the go button, making it a challenge for ride operators to properly align the cars with the platform, resulting in further wear and tear as well as slowdowns in operation. Issues weren't limited to the ride during operation, but also its setup and teardown. While it only took 2 people approximately 6 hours to set up, operators had to be very cautious when raising each of the support beams to prevent the ride from tipping over. After only 2 decades, many showmen retired the aging rides, with most turbos being retired or scrapped by the 1990s. In the early 2010s, Australian showman David Burton worked with the engineer Josh Darker to refurbish a turbo. This was one of the earliest turbos, originally opening with Chas Holiday, but transferring ownership to Bob Cooper, Spring Lake Amusements, and Funtastic Shows before it was sold to TPA Shows. At some point in the mid-90s, this turbo was partially destroyed in a shipping accident. The freight company loaded it incorrectly with parts of it stacked way too high. During transport, it struck a bridge and damaged multiple ride cars and the ride sign. The refurbishment came with many challenges, such as replacing the 1970s era hydraulic systems with modern ones and finding new ride cars to replace the damaged ones. David salvaged cars from another turbo that was in storage at Pennsylvania's Conneaut Lake Park. Their years of hard work paid off, and the refurbishment was completed in 2017. Unfortunately, it never traveled following the refurbishment, as it was deemed not ready for riders. The turbo fell to the back burner over time, and other projects took priority. Operating a turbo was not financially viable for the owners due to the high costs of further refurbishment and the use of 2 trailers during transport. It was put up for sale but seemingly never sold, and ultimately remains in storage as of today. Even though the turbo is essentially extinct, other rides offer a similar ride experience and may have been inspired by the turbo, Chance's own Zipper being a noteworthy comparison. It features ride cages much like the turbo and an intense out-of-control feeling ride experience that hurdles its cars towards the ground. Although it only rotates vertically, the Zipper can still be found at many North American fairs today and actually just re-entered production. Chance's own Skydiver is another fairground classic that offers a similar ride experience. It acts like a Ferris wheel similar to the turbo, but each car can rotate horizontally. As the wheel spins, the cars rotate back and forth, inverting depending on the balance of the car. While it's not as common as the Zipper, it still operates at a few North American fairgrounds. The Turbo was once a fairground classic that sadly did not age well over time. It was described as one of the scariest and most intense fairground rides of all time, and even though there are still turbos in storage with attempts of refurbishment, it's unlikely that any of the original 23 turbos will ever operate again, especially with public riders. Did you get the chance to ride a Chance Turbo? If so, what did you think of it? That's all we have for this episode of Flat Ride Friday Season 2. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like as it will help this video appear above others in the YouTube algorithm. As always, if you'd like to see the rest of Flat Ride Friday Season 2 without having to wait, you can become a channel member to start binging them right now. If not, no worries, the next episode will be out next week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.